Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about something really important that's affecting hundreds of thousands of South Africans, the ongoing delays in SASSA grant payments for 2025. Over 200,000 people have been impacted, and a major reason behind this massive delay is something SASSA is calling double dipping. So if you or someone you know relies on the SASS grants, you need to stick around and listen to this entire video because this could seriously affect your next payment or even get your grant suspended. Earlier this year, SASSA, that's the South African Social Security Agency, began flagging thousands of accounts for suspected fraud or duplicate grant claims. According to the agency, over 200,000 beneficiaries were flagged as what they call double dippers. Now that might sound funny at first, but it's actually a serious issue in the eyes of the agency. What it means is that people are suspected of receiving more than one type of grant or claiming the same grant from more than one source. In some cases, it could even mean two different people using the same ID or banking information to apply. SASSA has said that they're tightening up their systems to catch fraud, but the problem is not everyone being flagged is actually doing anything wrong. A lot of honest people are suddenly finding their grants delayed, frozen, or even completely stopped without warning. And worse, many of these individuals aren't getting any kind of explanation. They just wake up one day, check their accounts, and find there's no money. For many South Africans, that money isn't a bonus, it's a lifeline. The child support grant, the older person's grant, the disability grant, these payments are often the difference between eating and going hungry. So when SASSA blocks a grant, even temporarily, it can throw an entire household into crisis. Now let's break down what double dipping really means. SASSA has a policy in place that you can't receive two social grants at the same time unless you're entitled to them by law. For example, a person can receive a child support grant if they're a caregiver, but they can't also receive an older person's grant unless they meet the age criteria. You also can't apply for multiple grants using different names or apply for someone else without proper authorization. So, in theory, these rules are fair. The problem is in the way they're being enforced. What SASSA has done this year is use more advanced data matching systems. They're comparing ID numbers, bank accounts, physical addresses, and even phone numbers to find duplicates. And if two grant applications have any kind of overlap, even if it's an innocent mistake or a shared bank account in a family, the system might flag it. Once that happens, the payment can be held for investigation. What's worse is that people aren't being told exactly what the issue is. In many cases, there's no SMS, no email, no clear communication. People just hear through the grapevine that their grant might be blocked for double dipping. That's left thousands confused and angry, especially when they know they've done nothing wrong. Some caregivers are being flagged because they receive a child support grant for more than one child. Others are being flagged because they share a household with someone who also receives a grant, even if it's perfectly legal. Then there are people who change their banking details or move to a new province and get flagged by the system automatically. All these scenarios have been reported in the last few months. So the big question is, what can you do if you've been affected? First, if your payment hasn't come through this month and you think it might be a double dipping flag, don't panic. You're not alone, and there are steps you can take. Go to your nearest SASSA office with your ID and any supporting documents you have, like proof of your household income, proof of dependence, and a letter explaining your situation. It's frustrating, yes, but having the paperwork ready can speed things up. You should also check your status online through the SASSA website or use their WhatsApp service. These platforms sometimes give basic updates, like whether your application is being processed, declined, or flagged for review. It won't tell you everything, but it's a starting point. In some areas, community advice offices and local NGOs are stepping in to help people who've been unfairly flagged. So if you're struggling to get answers, try reaching out to these groups. They often have more insight into how the system works and might be able to assist with appeals or complaints. Now, let's talk about what SASSA is saying in response to the backlash. Officials have admitted that the new anti-fraud measures have led to some false positives. In other words, innocent people are getting flagged by mistake. But they also say these systems are necessary to protect the integrity of the grant program. Fraud has been a long-running issue in South Africa, and SASSA loses millions every year to fraudulent claims. So they argue that a stricter system is essential to keep the grants flowing to the right people. But critics are saying that the system is flawed. They argue that a better solution would be to communicate more clearly with the public, explain the reasons behind delays, and give people a proper chance to appeal before their money is stopped. Right now, it feels like people are being punished without even knowing why. At the end of the day, the most important thing is making sure that those who need help the most don't get left behind. If you're depending on a SASSA grant for your kids, your health, or your retirement, then you shouldn't have to worry every month about whether the money will show up. A system that blocks 200,000 people needs to be more transparent, more accountable, and more human. So if you're one of the people affected by this, don't give up. Push back, ask questions, and get the support you need. And if you're not affected, but you know someone who might be, share this video with them. Help spread the word. The more people who know what's going on, the more pressure there will be on SASSA to fix the system and treat people with dignity. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates like this. Stay strong, South Africa. We'll keep following this story and bring you any new updates as they happen.